Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2019. If you're watching live with me on YouTube, live with me on Twitch, thank you so much for hanging out. And if you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. It really helps out the channel. And so we are now moving on to another top 16 deck from Australia. It is a different version of the Pikachu and Zekrom deck that we saw earlier this week, which is super all in into, like, it's trying to really go all in or all out into a turn 1, 2, or 3, turn 3 might even be too late, full blitz into another Pikachu and Zekrom and whatnot. This version is actually, it plays out like half a Zapdos deck and half a Pikachu and Zekrom deck, because you have the 4 Jirachis, which helps you obviously thin and reach far into your deck to find the right cards, and then we have the 2 Zapdoses along with the 2 switches, 2 escape boards, and 2 escape ropes. However, we also have the Pikachu and Zekrom GX package along with the Tapu Koko Prism Star and the Tapu Koko GX and the Zoroark. So we have all of these things happening at the same time, but let's go over them really quickly. So to start us off, we have 4 Jirachi, the main star of the deck, as we have the Stellar Wish attack ability, where you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, you reveal a trainer card you find there, and then you put it into your hand, and then Jirachi goes to sleep. But that doesn't matter because of the escape boards and all the switching cards. The attack is not relevant either because we have no metal energy. However, after that we have Zapdos, which has a lot of synergy with Jirachi, 110 HP, and the attack Thunderous Assault deals 10 damage, and if this Pokemon is on the bench and became your active Pokemon this turn, this attack does 70 more damage. The attack is not affected by weakness, so that's relevant against opposing Zapdoses. But Thunderous Assault is a very powerful attack for a single energy and can be powered up even more thanks to Electro Powers and the Choice Bands. Now, we also have 2 Pikachu and Zekrom GXs, 240 HP. It is a tag team, therefore, if it gets knocked out, you give up 3 prizes, so half the game to your opponent. We have the full blitz attack dealing 150 damage, and then you search your deck for up to 3 lightning energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon, and then you shuffle your deck. And then we have Tack Bolt GX Plus, which deals 200 damage for the same 3 lightning energy. However, if Pikachu and Zekrom has an extra 3 lightning energy attached to it, then you get to deal 170 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So a really nice way to potentially close out a game. And then we have Zoroark GX with its ability Thunderclap Zone. Each of your Pokemon that has any lightning energy attached to it has no retreat cost, so a lot of synergy between Jirachi, Absol, and Zapdos and Zoroark, because if your Zapdos attacked, usually if you're a pure Zapdos deck, you need to find a switching card, whereas with Zoroark, all you need to do is retreat, go into Jirachi, and then use potentially find the switching card. So it's the same, but it's better, yeah? Tapu Koko Prism Star, Dance of the Ancients. If Tapu Koko Prism Star is on the bench, you get to choose 2 energy from the discard pile and attach them to 2 of your benched Pokemon, 1 to each. And then Tapu Koko goes to the Lost Zone, and then Max Bolt deals 120 damage for 2 lightning and 1 colorless. Not a bad attack either, but I have yet to use it. And finally we have Tapu Koko GX with its 170 HP, ability Air Trail. When you play Tapu Koko from your hand onto your bench, you can move any lightning energy from your other Pokemon to it, and then you can make it your active. This is relevant because Sky High Claws is a very solid attack, dealing 130 damage, but Tapu Thunder GX is a great way to potentially punish something in the mirror match, because it deals 50 damage for each energy they have attached to all of their Pokemon. So a really nice way to trade in the Pikachu mirror matches. Now, we have 1 Tapu Lele for support along with a 1 Absol, which with its Dark Ambition ability, it increases the retreat cost of all basic Pokemon from your opponent by 1 more, making their escape board plus Jirachis actually still have a 1 of retreat cost. Now, supporters wise, we have 4 Lily, 3 Volkner, and 1 Erika, so not a lot of draw power right there, but probably enough combined with the Jirachis to work your way through the deck. And then we have 4 Ultra Ball for Nest Ball for maximum deck thinning and Pokemon finding potential. We have double switch, double escape rope, double skateboard, and double choice band, along with 2 energy switches. This I feel is the weak point of the deck. I would love to have a third one, though maybe it's not super necessary. For electro power to increase our damage output, 1 Thunder Mountain to decrease our energy costs by 1 lightning for all our lightning Pokemon, and then 1 Viridian Forest so that we can search specifically for the energy that we need. And so 11 energy round out the deck. Let's jump into the ladder and see how we can do with this list. So Gekuga, do I think it's much of a problem if one of Pikarom gets Rise? Yes, it is a big problem, but the way this deck usually plays out is you try to focus on Zapdos first. So to start off, the chance of you prizing any given card is 10%, right? So 9 out of 10 games you won't prize the second Pikachu and Zekrom, right? And then it might be higher if you're playing 2 copies of a card, but not much more than 15%, I would say. And then the fact that you are trying to be a Zapdos deck, yeah, does mean that you are going to be taking some early prizes, right? And after or once you do that, like there's a chance you find the second Pikachu and Zekrom off of the prizes. So the overall chance, by the time you attack with Pikachu and Zekrom, the overall chance of Pikachu and Zekrom being prized is actually much lower. Yeah, now seeing the baby Buzzwole is either an indication that we're up against a Buzzwole deck or that we're up against a Zapdos deck. So I'm gonna take advantage of this and I'm gonna play down the Absol here in order to try and prevent or make it hard already for my opponents to play down their Jirachis. Yeah. Okay, so we see the Nest Ball. I would put money on this being Jirachi. Yeah. Jirachi Zapdos with the Ultra Beast package. There's the Jirachi. We might see an escape rope here. This Nest Ball will probably reveal the Zapdos. And then starting Buzzwole for my opponent is actually pretty nice because I have to use up 2 Electro Powers to get it. There's the escape rope. So I feel like I should promote this Zapdos rather than the Absol, just to prevent my opponent from having a switch plus a lightning energy as well. He's gonna choose to get a KO, which is interesting. And we're actually up against Zapdos TCG. So he will get the turn 1 prize, which is fine because we are not a Zapdos deck. We are a Pikachu and Zekrom deck. So all we need to do is make sure that on the turn we use Pikachu and Zekrom, we knock out that Buzzwole probably. Okay, so let's go ahead and Stellar Wish here. I will grab the Guzma. I think it's a good call here. And then I wish he unKO'd the Zapdos, but I'm glad I have the Absol instead of the Zapdos here. I will go ahead and attach the energy to the Absol because it will be important to potential retreat and also the energy switches play. I will go ahead and switch since I am planning on attacking anyways, and then we'll go ahead and Lily. And not the best hand to follow this up for sure. Not the worst, but not the best. However, the Ultra Volt definitely helps, and now my opponent might just end up whiffing an attack here with 3 cards, 1 Stellar Wish, and the Absol is the key card here. Which version of Pikachu and Zekrom is this? The top 16 version by the group like Pedro, Rahul, Sam, that particular one. Yeah, I think it got 12th and 13th at Oceania. So it's like half a Zapdos deck. Right now we are a Zapdos deck, but we will eventually become a Pikachu and Zekrom deck. Yeah. So Jirachi finds a Nest Ball. A Nest Ball will find Zapdos. Is my opponent already holding energy plus Electro Power plus a switching card? That would be mighty impressive, not gonna lie. That would actually be mighty impressive. And we're gonna see a Volkner here. We are going to see a Volkner. So he's guaranteed the Zapdos and the energy and the switching card. Does he also have a second Electro Power? Yep. There's the switch, there's the lightning, there's the Nest Ball. It makes sense to use Stellar Wish before the Volkner, because then if he finds switch in there, he goes for a Nest Ball, right, off of the Volkner. But if he finds the Nest Ball, then he goes for the switch. Do you like this list better than Jose's? I do. I do think I like it more. And my opponent did not have the Electro Power, so that's definitely kind of nice. So the issue here is I have no lightning in the discard pile. I mean, I can Guzma KO the Jirachi, which actually seems like a solid plan. And I can't do it without benching a GX, right? Which is probably what I want to do. But then I won't be using Jirachi either. And I don't want to risk the Jirachi. Like, using Jirachi to find a switching card is the same as just, like, because if I whiff, then I would be in a terrible spot. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep my hand as it is. And then my opponent might not even be able to knock me out next turn. He needs an Electro Power, or he needs another switching card, which he's already used 2 of, right? Or he needs a Rainbow Energy, which he's already lost 1. He is in Sledgehammer turn. And we do see an Ultra Wall, discarding the Shrine. That's also, like, we are masking. He discarded Choice Band and Shrine. We are still at a point where we are masking the fact that we are a GX deck. Yeah, so my opponent just got rid of 2 valuable resources that could have helped him in this spot. And wow, he does have the Beast Energy. My opponent was holding the Beast Energy, so here is where, if I can get a knockout with Pikachu and Zekrom, that would be amazing. So let's think this through. Yeah, the Volkner can either get me another energy switch, or it can get me the skateboard. So I'm gonna do just like my opponent. I'm gonna go ahead and use Jirachi, and I'm gonna grab the energy switch. Yeah, so I think I can pull this off. So there's a double energy switch. So then I'm gonna Volkner for the lightning. Yeah, and Coco Prism Star is in there. The lightning and the escape board. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and Ultra Ball away 1 Electro Power, right? And the Lily, probably. Yeah, because any support I need, I'll just Lele for. So I'll grab the Coco Prism Star, and I'm actually just gonna load up Pikachu and Zekrom itself. So I will bench, I will do this. I guess I didn't need the double energy switch. Right? Yeah, I didn't need the double energy switch. It's fine though. Definitely a card I can always use for later on. So yeah, I will transfer that there, and I will attach, and then I will go ahead and retreat, and I will knock out this Buzzwole. I will deactivate Sledgehammer. My opponent is very, very surprised at this. This is exactly how you want to be playing the deck. And then I will power up my own Pikachu and Zekrom, which is awesome, because then I have 2 prizes next turn, guaranteed. And my opponent is out of 1 Choice Band, out of 1 Shrine, out of 1 Electro Power, and his field is looking very, very lackluster at this point. Do you think a hybrid of this list and Joseph's list could be good? Play things like Raikou and Zapdos as non-GX attackers and still play the 4 energy switch and 4 acrobikes? Maybe. I do like the idea behind Raikou in a lot of these decks, because it's much, like, it requires 2 Electro Powers to take down. It requires 2 Electro Powers to take down from your opponent's side of the field. but you only need one Electro Power to knock out their Zapdos, right? So I think Raikou is potentially a really good tech for the mirror match. Yeah, I think Raikou is potentially a really good tech for the mirror match. Now my opponent has already attached an energy this turn to retreat, so there's no coming back, I don't think. There's absolutely no way he's gonna make a comeback at this point. So yeah, Alex, I do think so, but the space would obviously be the issue, right? And Image, other than Ultra Chroma, what non-electric decks do you think are viable? Zoroark? Yeah. You think electric decks are good but too popular? I mean, before people complain about Zoroark, now people are gonna complain about electric decks. It's how Pokemon works, I guess. It is how Pokemon ends up working out sometimes. I don't think it's a bad thing. Okay, so, I mean, I could avoid using my GX, but I think it's correct to use my GX here every time. I'll grab the Lightning, and then I want an efficient attacker here. So I'm actually going to grab... Oh, I could just grab another Pikachu and Zekrom, never mind. Yeah, and I'll attach to it. And then I will go ahead and attack both GX Plus onto the Jirachi and onto the bench Jirachi to make sure that my opponent has to run the Zapdos, and then he's in a really weird spot here. And that should be game, I would assume. But yeah, Zoroark is viable, and then outside of those four, it's actually hard to say if there's a viable deck outside of those four right now. I mean, Blacephalon is okay, it really struggles against Pikachu and Zekrom, well, Zapdos rather, and Malamar maybe. Okay, so we're gonna see an Electro Power. I assume we're gonna see, no, we just see a Cynthia. So yeah, that will be a game. GG to my opponent, Zapdos TCG. He also has a YouTube channel in case you guys wanna check it out. I know he likes to rap a lot, which is pretty funny. His raps are cool. And yeah, pretty solid win, I would say. Pretty solid win. And we even, we generally tricked our opponent into thinking that we were a Zapdos deck. And he even got resources that, I mean, at that point it probably wasn't going to be helpful. But we managed to get to a point where we activated Sledgehammer with no GXs in play. And afterwards, we got to the point where Pikachu and Zekrom just took over very nicely. Thoughts on Tool Drop Sideways Rain? I was meaning to try that. I will eventually try it. I don't think it's very good. Those are my thoughts. I don't think Tool Drop is very good. And okay, now we're up against Zoroark, a potentially problematic matchup. And Gekuga, thank you so much for hanging out, and thank you for the kind wishes. Hope you have a nice day yourself. Maybe Lost March could still be a thing. No, definitely not Lost March. Lost March sucks right now because there's so much Ultra Necrozma being played. So definitely Lost March is not a viable deck. Okay, so is this Zora control again? Are you kidding me? So yeah, definitely don't think Lost March is a good play, purely because I think I will go ahead and Nespel for a Jirachi here. The cat's out of the bag as my opponent sees that Lele, that we are playing GXs. Not the end of the world, definitely, but not great either. The Ultra Ball seems solid here, but we don't have access to Lele, so we're actually relying heavily on this Jirachi. At least we already have the Guzma to chase down a potential Ditto Prism or a Lowland Grimer. But yeah, definitely not Lost March because of Ultra Necrozma. You just get completely run over. Gramble seems okay. Gramble seems like a decent option right now. It's not a rogue deck, but it seems like a decent option. Okay, so we see the Lele, probably for Elm. Yep, we're gonna see the Elm. Therefore, there's only one chance at setting up on a Alolan Mach right here, unless my opponent just benches from hand and Alolan Grimer. We see a Rockruff, we see a Zoroark, we see a Ditto. We are not forced to go after the Rockruff if it gets an energy attached to it, but it doesn't, so that's even better. So definitely wanna Stellar Wish here, definitely grabbing the Lily because I am going to be using the Ultra Ball here, which is pretty okay. So I will go ahead and Ultra Ball 2 energy away. I think I should grab the Cocoa Prism Star, but keep it in hand, right? Yeah, Cocoa Prism Star, keep it in hand. I can't KO with Pikachu and Zekrom, right? Not yet, at least. So I will go ahead and Guzma the Ditto, and I will go ahead and use Thunder's Assault for the knockout. And then my opponent needs a full bench, so 2 more basic Pokemon, a Zoroark and a TCE to knock me out. And if he does, I might still be able to get a KO, I'm not sure. Probably not, but we'll see. Thank you so much, Gekuga, for hanging out. We see the trade first, which I like. Trades away a basic, so the likelihood of us getting return KO'd here is a little bit lower, right? A little bit lower. We see the counter catcher, so I mean, I'm kind of conflicted because I keep the energy in play, but I also lost the Jirachi option, so it's a bittersweet victory, I would say. Okay, so now I need an energy switch, right? Now I need an energy switch. So I think this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna retreat, and I guess I have to play assuming that my opponent doesn't have counter gain. The Volkner gets me the energy switch. So here's what's going to happen. I'll go ahead and play down the Pikachu Zekrom. I will go ahead and play down the Cocoa Prism Star, and then I will dance off the Ancients onto these two guys. Yeah. Okay, and then I will go ahead and escape rope. My opponent's best play is probably to promote the Lele, but he actually chooses the Rockruff, which I am very happy about. That will almost mean that I'm going to win this game. So now I attach and I go for the Volkner for the energy switch and the energy. Generally, my opponent should have promoted the Lele. That was his best bet at winning this match. And then I will go ahead and energy switch this energy from here, because now I'm at a point where I won't bench this Zapdos. I'm at a point where he has to attack with the Lele, otherwise he immediately loses next turn. Well, as long as I find one Electro Power, right? I wish I had a second Pikachu and Zekrom here to attach to, but the fact that he sacrificed the Rockruff means my Pikachu and Zekrom is going to be completely safe here. Yeah, completely safe. The Zorua promotion might indicate a Guzma play, which is odd. Might indicate an Articuno GX play. That would be very sad. An Articuno GX play here would be very sad. We see a Lele for the Guzma. No, for Cynthia. Okay. So very defensive move here by my opponent. If I have Guzma, then that'll be game by knocking out both Leles. And thank you so much for the follow, Trickajim. Hey, Mahone, how are you doing? Will I be seeing you in Collinsville this weekend? Are we finally gonna play out a game where we don't tie? And there's a victory, yeah. So I didn't have the Guzma. I wasn't going to immediately win. Lurking card. Glad to have you on here. So yeah, I probably wasn't going to win unless I top deck the Guzma there. Awesome. But will you be playing or will you be working like in Dallas? I probably wasn't going to win the next turn, but it was gonna be like, it was almost guaranteed for me to win at that point. My opponent was just too far behind in that situation. Okay. Playing, that's awesome. That is great to hear. That is great to hear. Okay. So we are up against a fairy. What's a good fairy type? Fairy, fighting, psychic, colorless. Is this a Passimian deck of sorts? Thanks to the Zapdos and Jirachi start, we will be able to avoid revealing that we are a Pikachu deck, in fact. The Lele in the previous screen would reveal that, I guess. Ooh, this is probably Buzzle. Yeah, this is probably Buzzle like a Rock Ninetales. Yep. That is exactly right. So this is gonna be tricky, Jim. This is gonna be tricky because of all the fighting types, right? It's gonna be tricky because of all the fighting types. We're gonna need double Pikachu and Zekrom for sure, and we are going to have to take some key early prizes with the Jirachi. The Marshadow not too crippling. I didn't have like a fantastic start, and I have the Jirachi and the Zapdos down, and now I have guaranteed, like, my hand is arguably better now because I'm gonna get a more explosive start with the Volkner. So I think I'm gonna save the Stellar Wish for after the Lily. I'm just gonna go ahead and Brooklet Heal to check my deck. Absol is in there, Zapdos is in there, all Jirachis are there, both Pikachu Zekroms, Tapu Koko Prism Star. We do have one Electro Power prized. We do have one Nestball prize, so that's 2 prizes. We do have 2 Lilies prized, so that's good to know because then I can make some plays where I assume I'm gonna get a Lily off my prizes, and also a Guzma prized, and then an Energy prized. So those are our 6 prizes. So I'm gonna go ahead and Lily here, and don't feel like replacing the stadium right now, honestly. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Nest Ball to reinforce to my opponent that I am a Zapdos deck, yeah, which might make him do some suboptimal plays, and would have been awesome to go the Rockruff, I guess, but I'd rather just get the huge start with the Lycanroc, with the Jirachi and the Lily. I will bench the other Jirachi, but I don't expect a second Marshadow, so my hand should be safe, right? My hand should be safe. Duck Monkey, how many codes does it take to make a deck like that, or is it trades? How many codes it takes, I have no clue. My deck looks like this because I have a special account. Yeah, I have a special account that Pokemon gave me with all the cards, so that is why you get to you see what you see right now. Yeah, that's probably the most asked question on the stream. Okay, so this is gonna be interesting. We do see the Buzzle getting benched, we do see the Energy, we do see a Lele. Is it gonna be for a Judge? I hope not. This does mean that my opponent will hit me for 30 damage though, which is not a big deal, right? Definitely not a big deal. And wow, no, he's gonna go for a Guzma. Doesn't get a knockout on any of my Pokemon though, so I'm okay with that. This feels like an underwhelming play. Probably onto the other Zapdos? No, onto the Jirachi. Okay, so trying to eliminate both Jirachis at the same time, I assume. I definitely want to go after the Rockruff. No, not even on the Jirachi. Okay, so I don't understand that play at all. I do not understand that play at all. 140 minus 20. If I had double Electro Power, there's some merit to going Diancie, but probably the Rockruff is better, right? Probably the Rockruff is better. So I do grab the Volkner for later on. I will go ahead and Kuzma the Rockruff so I can bring up the other Jirachi and Stellar Wish with that one. And Choice Band is potentially useful if I'm going to pull off the crazy Pikachu and Zekrom play that I have been pulling off this past couple of games. So now I will go ahead and retreat, bring up the clean Zapdos. Probably not, shouldn't have. It's fine. It's honestly fine. Okay, so then I will Thunder's Assault, get the KO here. I will activate B-String, but my opponent only has 3 cards in his hand. And there's the baby Buzzwole. So what would I need to pull this off? A Kuzma, right? Wow, my opponent just doesn't do anything beyond KOing this Zapdos. So I need a Kuzma and an energy top deck, which is exactly what I got. So I'm gonna go ahead and Stellar Wish. There's a Kuzma. Okay, so to say we are going to win this game with oh no, I actually can't pull it off because I can't search for yeah, no. Okay, so let me think this through. I can't search for 2 Pokemon if I play Kuzma, and I really want to deactivate B-String, right? So I think I'm just gonna end up using Coco GX with the Choice Band and the Electro Power. So I will go ahead and Ultra Ball. The Lily, the 2 Lilies probably? Yeah, let's do the 2 Lilies. I mean, I technically don't even have to use Coco GX. I can just play the Thunder Mountain. So I'll still grab it, but I don't even need to. Okay, so okay, I'll go ahead and Kuzma this guy. And I will go ahead and Stellar Wish for the Nest Ball. And then I will go ahead and use Coco GX. I will absorb the Lightning Energy. I will play the other Lightning Energy. I will play the Thunder Mountain. I will play the Choice Band, play the Electro Power, and then I will Sky High Claws for 160 damage. I could have used Full Blitz. I could have used I actually couldn't have used Full Blitz because I didn't have a way to search for another Pokemon. I had already like I had to promote the one with, well, could I have? Maybe I could have used Full Blitz here. Grumble is busted. Do you just insta-concede against Vileplume with this deck? I mean, once they set up one Vileplume, yes, you do insta-concede against Vileplume. That is what would happen normally. Yeah, that is what would happen. And hello, welcome back, Ikuga. So my opponent goes for Lily. This guy isn't even weak to fighting, so now all we need is another Electro Power to go Kuzma KO on this Lele. So I think that's what I'm gonna, well, actually I might not even need to do that. Any Electro Power or any energy switch gets me there, right? That's not it. I'll keep the escape rope. Yeah, so I can Full Blitz for 150, or I can Full Blitz for 150 or Sky High Claws. Yeah. Or I could just Thunder's Assault. Oh, I only had 1 energy in the discard pile. Oops, not a big deal, but a bit careless there. And then I'll go ahead and Full Blitz, not get the knockout, but then just fully power up the Pikachu and Zekrom. And there's absolutely no way for my opponent to win here anymore. Hello, Jin. Thank you so much for being here. You're gonna play a Vileplume deck now to just troll the Zapdos players. Why is he playing Buzzrock Tails in this meta? Yeah, there is a lot of Malamar. Oh, why didn't I GX? Oh, right. Right, I always forget. I generally always forget that you can, if it's not for the plus bonus, I forget you can just tack bolt. I should have tack bolt, yes, completely, 100%. I should have tack bolt. I wanna take 4 more prizes, I guess. Yeah, that was silly. That was silly. It's to make the video last longer for YouTube. No, I genuinely forgot. I genuinely forgot. I genuinely forgot. Yeah. Just making it more interesting. Giving my opponent a small ray of hope. No, I genuinely forgot. It's purely because of that. I genuinely forgot. Organizing a switch. My opponent will be doing some damage. And so, okay, so my opponent also wants to drag this out, right? So I'll escape rope. Yeah, Alexis, it's going well, thank you. How about yourself? And my opponent decides to propose the Lele. So now we're both trolling each other. Do I have Lele? Yeah, I have Lele. Okay, so I can ult troll for Lele for Kuzma. And then get 6 prizes. I mean 4 prizes in one turn. And you play Pikachu to top 64 at OCIC. That's awesome, Jin. That's awesome. You face 6 Ultra Malamar. Yikes. That's a tough matchup, right? That's a tough matchup if you go second. And we play everything down, and then we will tack bolt. And my opponent owes me 2 prizes here. GG. I generally did not make the game last longer on purpose. The previous turn, this one I did. Because my opponent didn't insta-concede. That's awesome that you got points, money, and you did well. So that's pretty cool, Jin. I'm glad. And yeah, guys, so this version of Pikachu Zekrom, it's less explosive, right, than the other one, for sure. It's less explosive than the one that has 6 energy switches in order to power up Pikachu and Zekrom on turn 1, but still pretty good nonetheless. And so that will be all for this deck. Now we are going to be moving on to Melmetal GX. We're going to see how good or how bad it actually is, but we will see. So thank you guys so much. Don't forget to leave a like if you're watching on YouTube, and I will be right back in just a second with the next Melmetal deck. Thank you guys, and be right back.